morning, afternoon, night. This is We Are Not Prepared, and we are your hosts, Byron
and Mark Ivy. But it's even gone, like, I've had these thoughts in my head, like, as you know, time goes on, science, gets crazy good, medical world crazy good. I'm going to see someday. I really do think that. But that also scares the living daylights out of me, believe it or not. It truly does, because that's all I know. Like, that is my identity.
Sure.
I have succeeded in my career because of that. Right. And I guess deep inside, I almost think like, well, at least that is a crutch for me, or or something that people might like. It almost is like I get a pass for me thinking I'm coming up short in terms of, like, smartness or whatever. I almost feel like it's my excuse. I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, yeah.
Help me out there.
Yeah, I think that we have we frame our identities around the things, whatever those things are. And it can be really comfortable, right, to like identify with this thing. But then to like not have it anymore.
I feel like there's no excuse, and that makes me feel like act like that comes off as like a lazy, like I'm not trying to, but I feel like it's like, oh, well, I don't know. It's like, if I don't go get, like, I interviewed for a Devon position, and this awesome opportunity that came up, and it just, the timing wasn't right. And in my head, I was just like, if I wasn't blind, and didn't get that position or certain positions, it would just, I would be a lot more like harder on myself. And I would feel like people would, Mark can see now and he's still working here making this. And I'm afraid in my, like, what if I can't go do other things that I think I want to go do when I don't know. It's a mind F.
Right. Well, I mean, I think
would you ever donate your eyes? One.
Maybe it depends. It depends on, like, what am I doing?
Now I'm being. All right. Here's a hypothetical, serious question.
Yeah.
If someone gave you cash, I gave you $100,000, and you had to give me one of your good eyes and take one of my bad eyes. So just so you know, that means that if that eye stays healthy, your eye, you can still drive. You're legal to drive. You're basically legal to, I mean, you're just going to bump into some stuff on your blind side.
Sure.
Would you do it?
Based on like the value of $100,000? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. I'm not sure like where the number becomes more appealing. I think everyone does probably have a price.
Santiago, I had y'all wrong. I didn't think money is what drives you. I thought the heart is what drives you in serving others.
We do be living in a society.
One eye. That's all we're talking. So anyways, good to know where you stand on that. So what do you have against blind people? Where do you get off?
It's more of a question of when, which is when the projects are done, because I'm a freelancer.
Could you produce podcasts without vision? You probably don't know that question.
Probably.
Yeah.
Pro Tools in particular is not very accessible. And so that's the software that we're using to record right now. If I was like partially or fully blind, I mean, I even had some trouble. So like Bridget is our other producer. She just needs to get like closer to the screen, or like needs the text to be bigger. Pro Tools was already like kind of difficult to do that. And so I feel like it would be even harder for it to even accommodate little to no vision. So.
After this podcast, I'm going to jump on Does she ever use any of the built-in accessibility, like because whatever you use on Windows will show up on Pro Tools?
Some of it, yes, but yeah, it's still like it's kind of like a locked off software. It like takes over certain things, and so for example, like the Windows key, Pro Tools uses that for other than Windows things. Okay. Because this is a PC that we use. But like normally in like other system-wide things on the computer, the Windows key is used for like other stuff like accessibility.
Right. I think we have a podcast like weekend coming up with a bunch of the low vision and blind employees, coworkers, my employees. I'm very sorry. My colleagues. I have no employee. I have my daughter. She's an employee. But I'm going to do some digging on that because that question will come up of, what if someone wants to, produce a podcast? What do you like? So anyways, do you like producing or podcasting better?
I like music better.
We're not talking about music, remember?
Yeah. All right.
Unless you want to talk about Church of Christ hymns. Does he still feel the nails every time Santiago fails? Does he hear the crowd cry, crucify again?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Blue skies and rainbows and sorry.
I do enjoy podcasting more, like being in the room, talking to people. I enjoy this conversation. I enjoy having conversations. That's why I started podcasting in the first place. I just happened to also do audio, and we do be living in a society. And unfortunately, I have to make money to survive.
Because you're driven by money, and that's all that matters to you, as we've already figured that one out. And then I'm not going back to the Pro Tools thing, but I just had a brain fart. My younger brother, Kyle, who is has the same eye disease as I do, who works at our Tulsa location at New View. He's our he's our database guy. Like he runs our Salesforce and HubSpot and but yeah, all of all the things he does is he has his accessibility, and he actually went to what's your degree in at UC? Did you go to UCO?
Yeah,
audio engineer or whatever. So he dabbled in that for a while, and he had Pro Tools. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
Did you like going to UCO? I went there.
Yeah, I went to both ACM and UCO. ACM is like a separate school to UCO.
Mm-hmm. My brother-in-law went there.
Yeah. I really enjoyed ACM. I really enjoyed UCO. Maybe I enjoyed ACM a little bit more.
For sure. For sure. Are they still butt touching the flaming lips? Sorry.
Do we have to
cut that out?
No.
All right.
The guy who created ACM and is still the head of ACM is Scott Booker, who is the manager for the Flaming Lips. Ah. So there is an inextricable link between ACM and the Flaming Lips.
Any other musicians, solo or bands that came out of there that is mainstream? Would you call Flaming Lips mainstream? No.
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a song in Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's
I fell asleep in that
movie. Yeah. Maybe Broncho, if you've heard of them.
The mascot for UCO, he does something?
No, there's a band called Broncho.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's pronounced Broncho or Bronco, but they're probably the next biggest band out of ACM. But I don't know. ACM teaches a bunch of other stuff. There's people who are managing artists. There's people who are producing some artists. Sure. I have a friend who works at a recording studio in LA, but like, do you ever do what? I guess we'll get into a little bit of music. What instruments do you play and do you sing? Yes, I sing. Voice is my primary, I guess the instrument that I'm most comfortable in.
Is your voice?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little where are we going tonight, or Mommy made me mash my M&Ms?
Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. I very much didn't find a key there, but you know.
Are you sure you're
right. Okay. So let's see if I can just pull this song out of thin air. Du meine Seele, du mein Herz, du meine Wonne, du mein Schmerz,
Du meine Welt, in der ich lebe, mein Himmel, du, darein ich schwebe, mein guter Geist, mein besseres Ich.
Oh my God.
That's in
Can I
German.
kiss you on the mouth? That was beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Hopefully it's not like super clipped out on the thing, or else
was
listeners
wonderful.
are gonna just hear a bunch of distortion.
Do you know
but
what
yeah.
any of that meant?
Yeah, it's like you, my soul, you, my wind with beneath my wings, or something. It's a very pretty love song by.
Yeah. Well, it sounds pretty. It would be hilarious if it was just like, you know, I'm going to cut your head off, like, you know, all this stuff and these pretty words. Speaking of words, that's another thing growing older. I listen to lyrics now more than I ever have in my life. And it just dawned on me that, like, a few years back, I'm listening to whatever it is, you know, Third Eye Blind songs.
Sure.
And growing up, you know, just, woo, want to be a Cristobal, you know, all this stuff. And then you listen and you're like, oh no, they're drug addicted comedians who, you know, there's these crazy things. But no, do you write songs?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm jealous. So writing jokes, writing songs, there's parallels.
Absolutely. You can write joke songs.
Joke songs are so fun.
Exactly.
I love taking just like, I think the last one was Bob Seger, Against the Wind, you know, Against the Wind.
Yeah.
Or no, it's, so it's instead of Against the Wind, it's Rubbing Against the Men. Rubbing against the men, still rubbing. And so it's like, you know, free falling, I'm always falling, you know, some blind, like, anyways.
I mean, Weird Al made an entire career out of it.
Let It Be, I can't see, you know.
Oh yeah, it's great. but yeah, I mean, thinking about like songwriting, joke writing, it is all kind of pulling from the same.
How do you start?
Well,
Does it start with something that, so when something pops in my head to like write a joke, first off, it is anyone who makes fun of someone. Well, I mean, you can make fun of anyone telling a dad joke or whatever, but go try to write a dad joke. Go try to write a one-liner. It is so hard. So, I'll try to practice by like looking at like a headline, and I don't do this as much as I should, but when I do get on a roll of that, and I make a point to do it, you know, 3-4 times a week, you start flexing that muscle, and it does kind of start coming. But what I will do, instead of just writing down a joke, I'll write down, you know, maybe a few words that kind of strung together that were funny about the topic, and I'll turn on my recorder on my phone and do thousands of recordings in there of, you know, just working that out. Yeah. And then after about 20 takes, it has, you know, became, maybe if I'm lucky, I get like a minute out of it. Sure. And it's like, all right, cool. Store that away.
Yeah.
But when you're writing a song, do you have like a chorus? So I also am a little unfamiliar with some of the terminology. So when someone says a hook, sure, is that just a chorus?
It's like a melody that is catchy. Is I guess the shortest way of putting that. But like, yeah, sometimes a hook doesn't even have to have a melody. Sometimes it can just be like a rhythmic phrase that like feels good to say.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of hip hop hooks are just like spoken word in a fun rhythm.
When I pull my AK, I sway from far away. Everybody hit the DECK. Something like that.
Yeah. Or cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Like, it just feels good to say, right? Like, and obviously how we've already established that money is the only thing that motivates me. So,
correct.
Yeah, like so a hook, yeah, it's just like something that feels good to say that people want to repeat. But I think the process of songwriting is very similar to what you just described in kind of chiseling away at a joke to make it like a better version that you can.
Do you have an idea about a song? So like if we wanted to like practice writing a song right now, right, would you, and you wanted to like pull from my brain, would you ask me what interests me, what what I think's fun. Like where do you start?
Yeah, I mean,
I want to write a love song.
Yeah.
So you just start writing?
Yeah, it depends on the way I approach music creation is intention, right? And so what are you feeling? What's on your mind? There's this old phrase that I forget who said it, some theater composer, that is, words make you think thoughts, music makes you feel feelings, songs make you feel thoughts.
One more time.
Words make you think thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Music makes you feel feelings. Songs make you feel thoughts.
Boy, do they make you feel feelings, you know?
Yeah. And so because you have this combination of music and word, you can do a lot more with it. It can be really powerful to say a powerful phrase. It can add even more power to it to have it be in a satisfying rhythm or melody.
When's the last time you wrote a song?
It depends what you mean by song.
Like if I said, you know, sing a song that you wrote, do you have one?
Yeah. I have like 20-ish.
Yeah. So start singing just your favorite song. Just start singing it for a second. Don't I'll cut you off in a second when I have the question, but just just start singing.
Let's see. I'm trying to pick from.
And you don't have to sing. You can just kind of say the words.
Yeah.
Sing, just
every light I got to turned red. Every door I pulled at was locked. Everyone I spoke to didn't know. I tried. I'm sorry I was late.
What did they not know?
It's the context that you're missing is that it's a funeral.
Okay, so can you say those words real quick one more time?
Yeah.
So
every light I got to turned red. Every door I pulled at was locked. Everyone I spoke to didn't know. I tried. I'm sorry I was late. And so it's like arriving late to a funeral and like being outside the place and there's like people, but like they don't know what you're talking about when you're like, oh, there's a funeral. Am I too late? And they're like, what funeral? You're like, that late.
So
yeah,
is there some like hidden comedy in there?
I don't know. Potentially, but like, no, it's a emotional song.
No, it is.
Yeah.
But it is like funny, like thinking you're in my head. I'm just like, I gotta get to this funeral. Of course, the light's red.
Yeah.
Of course, the door's locked.
Yeah, exactly. And it is sort of this like universal kind of the last line of the song is like a universe delay. Like the whole everything was conspiring to like make you late to this thing.
I hope funerals start changing, and I don't want my funeral to be every funeral I've been to. You know, like they're so sad, and I don't like being sad. I don't even like being serious, and I have to be serious to those things sometimes. Depends who's sitting next to me if they're down for a funeral.
Well, the hardest I'm sure is the same for you. The hardest I've ever laughed are the times where I'm like not supposed to be laughing.
Oh, 100%, dude. Man, so speaking of just, I want to get back just so I don't lose this thought. Just telling jokes. I got to get on stage for we had a beat baseball tournament, baseball for the blind, and then a banquet. And so these 6 teams came in, all these volunteers and supporters and everything. And I was opening up for another blind comic who I've opened up for before. But the audience, as I didn't even dawn on me till like 48 hours. I'm like, all of my jokes that like are blind related that I really tell at these, blind centered functions are really for sighted people because the room's never full of blind people.
Yeah.
We're always, it's always just a few. And then the big laughs come from a sighted person's point of view of me being like, yeah, hide and go seek with my daughter.
Right.
Her favorite hiding spot is being quiet and it works every time.
Yeah.
She just sits at the dinner table. Like that, they crack up at that. But for a blind dad, it's just maybe not as funny.
It's just like truth.
Yeah. It was, so that stuff was going through my head. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just change it up a little bit. I'm going to do a roast of the 6 teams that are coming here and roast them / educate whoever is new to this sport in the room of who these guys are. Well, Santiago, a lot of people in that room didn't know what a roast was.
Sure.
And literally thought I was just being
Really mean.
really mean. And which made, and so back to you saying, the hardest I've laughed when you're not supposed to, that filled my heart with joy. Like the fact that someone was at this table whispering over going, what is he? That is so mean. That blind guy did get hit by a car. Why would he talk about that? So I had this team added a great player, right? And this player had lost 3 World Series championships in a row, right? And this team's so good, and they're taking these great players, and I'm making fun of them for, being the New York Yankees and just stealing all the talent. And I was like, I was going to curse you guys tonight, but you brought on the curse. This player has lost 3 championships in a row. The team he left has dissolved. One of the players on the team got hit by a car. Our pets' heads are falling off, and people just couldn't get over the fact that I said about I was like, guys, I love the guy that got hit by the car. It's the worst thing ever. But it's funny to say it's because of this guy leaving the team that he got. Yeah. So even when they don't get it, I used to be like super like, oh, well, I must tell you the context of why it should have been funny. Now I'm just like, well, that also is the joke to me.
Yes.
Because like there's something in my heart where one person gets the joke in the room and I'm like, yeah. Let's talk after and talk about how no one else got the joke. Anyways, little things like that. But no, I hear what you're saying. So that's a beautiful song. So what gave you the thought of being late to a funeral? Was that a life experience or something?
Well, that was, I guess, an idea. The seed was having a close friend that either passed away or, even just having a kind of close friend that just moved and not getting the chance to get to know them better. Like there's people in your life, right, that you're like super close with, and people that you could be super close with and just like haven't gotten the opportunity to be super close with. It's like, those people you like identify as like, oh, this person's great. I really want to get to know them. And then something happens and like you lose that opportunity.
Dude, if you get hit by a bus before we get to do another podcast, I'm going to write the song for you. Hey, what do you think about this love song? I'm going to have you read it, okay? Or about this song. This song is about being late to your friend's funeral. ChatGPT just wrote it. Do you want to read? Do you want to read the? Or yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I woke up to the sun shining bright, but my heart felt heavy like a moonless night. I checked the time to my dismay, realized I was late for your final day. I'm sorry, my friend, I didn't mean to be late to say goodbye to you from me, but life got in the way and time slipped by. Now I'm standing here with tears in my eyes. Do you want to keep going? Or
no.
Okay.
Here. That sounds like a poem to me.
Well, yes, and lyrics are poetry, but
that's how all the ChatGPT songs are. Like, if you ever have it write a song or something, it's always just like all these rhymes instead of just like you said, I'm late to the red light, doors, like, I don't know. Like it's always just seems like every other, it seems weird.
Well, so these are the things, the human things that an algorithm doesn't know to include because it doesn't know.
Yeah.
People
think I don't even think they're close, man. Like,
right. Well, it's an algorithm programmed to
you're an algorithm.
Pick the, I mean, kind of, but like,
no, God doesn't make algorithms.
But like
where'd we come from?
Apes, but that's slime molds. Like,
now you're just being nasty.
We are nasty.
Sorry, but okay.
And beautiful.
Yeah.
We can be both.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Donald Trump doing the beautiful people, Marilyn Manson, the beautiful people, anyways. But I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
Algorithms and
I think that there are things that it is missing so far. Maybe it'll get there. Maybe it won't. maybe we should ask ourselves the question why we're automating away creativity.
Dude, I like you. Should we wrap this one up and do part 2? Do we have, or this?
No, this was maybe.
Oh, it's 11. We're done.
Yeah, we are done.
Can we talk for an hour?
Yeah, we could chop this up and have it be 2 episodes.
Man. All right. Well, you're on the next one because I want to get back to the deep stuff too. Is that cool?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in and without Byron. And if you like viewers, I mean, I know we get thousands of comments every single episode, but feel free if you all want Santiago to replace Byron. Just say the word. Okay. Byron done, how old is he? 80? I mean, how much time does he have? We need to, start getting some. I mean, you're 28, so me and you could do this literally for a long time.
Yeah. At least 2 years.
Where are you going in 2 years?
I don't know. Stuff happens.
No. You're not leaving. What the? Thank you guys. Goodbye.